in Spanish.
Well, question to the actors and then to the newcomer. Most of you are very experienced actors, God knows, on stage, television, cinema. What do you do? How do you react when someone who's never been on a set arrives, speaking a different language, and she's totally inexperienced? Et vous, de votre côté, comment ça s'est passé? Vous arrivez dans une famille de gens qui ont déjà travaillé ensemble, qui ont déjà énormément d'expérience. Vous, d'où sortez-vous? Je sais que ce sont vos débuts. Qu'avez-vous fait avant? Pourquoi avez-vous dit oui? Comment vous a-t-il demandé? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Bonjour à tout le monde. Pour la première fois, j'étais tellement surprise quand il m'a pris Alejandro González Iñárritu. C'est un plaisir pour moi de travailler avec. Il fait partie des plus grands directeurs de cinéma et Javier Bardem aussi. Quand il m'a pris, moi, je ne savais pas. J'étais toute folle parce que je me disais que. Est-ce que. Je ne sais pas. Je vais une fois sortir à la télé. Je n'ai jamais fait de cinéma. Tu vois, j'avais ça en tête, mais nunca he creído que vaya a hacer eso. ¿Sabes? Es increíble. C'était plus fort que moi. Il y avait plus de 3000 Africains qui ont fait le casting. Lui, il a envoyé des gens qui sont venus me chercher depuis le Sénégal et que je ne parlais pas l'espagnol. Mais quand il me disait que demain tu ne tournes pas, j'étais malade. Parce que je disais que tous les jours je devais tourner, tellement c'était émouvant. Ouais. J'ai bien aimé et je pense que je vais continuer avec ça.
D'accord. Ouais. And how did you actors react to the presence of someone who came from another planet, so to speak?
I would like to say that in my thing, just learn. You just sit down and learn how to go back, like what she was doing. For me, it was more than acting. She was being. And when you are lucky to work more often, then you start to act too much. So when I was working with her, it was very touching for me to see her being. And reminds me that my job is being rather than acting. So for me, it was a lesson.
Unfortunately, I couldn't share any scene with Yari. I only met her personally. For myself, coming from the theater, having more than 50 years of experience in theater, this was the very first time for me in films. So I felt myself a little bit also like an étranger. It was very weird, bizarre for me to be also there. So I think that I can relate this sensation or feeling that Yari was explaining, and I can relate that to myself as well. That's all I can say about that.
Sir?
Je travaillais pas avec elle.
Ah oui, c'est vrai.
Oui.
I have a question for Javier. We've seen you in very, very different roles. Like there are some that are a little bit lighter and funny and more Casanova ones. And then there are those with really heavy roles and very tough characters. And even if you might find my question a little bit stupid, do you have a little preference for depressive roles?
Well, the Casanova roles were like years and years ago when I was young, and flesh was in the right place. That was a long time ago. The funny ones, tell me, who are those? I haven't seen them. I mean, I remember ones with the weird haircut that I was killing people at, but I won't say that was funny. Even people was laughing. And do I tend to have depressive roles? No, I like movies that has a meaning. And life is depressing, but also life it's what we have, and we have to fight to do it better. And I think every movie that I try to commit to, even it's hard or intense or dark, which I don't think this is. This is, as Alejandro said, it's intense, but there's hope in every gesture that he does towards the human beings that surrounds him, the kids, the immigrants, the wife. I mean, at the end, the hope is related to how do we behave with our disaster, and how we try to forget about ourselves in order to help others, how to really overcome what we are going through to really help the other one that is facing that also with you. I think that's the hope. As he was saying, hate is really antagonist to compassion. And I think this movie is in this movie there's a lot of compassion. About the roles that I choose, it depends of how much they pay, where it's located, and this movie was located in the best beautiful area in Spain, sunny, a lot of beach, yeah, pan and tomaca, ham. They pay me so well, and what else? That's it. I think at the end, what is important is the movie that you do and the story that you tell. I don't really care how intense it is or how funny it is. I just want to be part of that.
I want to add something that it's make me think about what you say about my hopeful, because I know that people laugh about that comment, but I want to say that maybe the way to approach it will be that for me, the only fact that the film is human. It talks about human things that are real. It's already a hopeful film. Why? Because we don't find that very often now. Yeah. So if somebody can tell me that explosions, cynicism, killing people, and violence in a very superficial way, is that life? Is that hopeful? Is that funny? I don't find that way. I feel that very depressing, very lack of hope. In this world that we are living of tweeting and emailing and all what really just separate us as a society, this film is a truly, I will say, intimate experience. There is no much intimacy that to be, going in the journey with Uxbal and with Javier. It's so close that people feel threatened. And intimacy, it's now the new punk. That is provocative. That provoke people. It's the same as when the punks were, with all these chains and that. Now it's exactly the contrary. We have been getting so far away from each other that when you present something human, about human emotions, everybody says, oh, that's depressing, because nobody is even able to recognize themselves. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to know that that's me. The people is Botox. The people doesn't want to be who they are. Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about getting old. So, we are sick. The society is really sick. We are going in the wrong direction. So what I'm saying is hopeful is because it's about us. It's about humans. It's about what we will struggle, all of us, want it or not, denying it or not. That's what I find is hopeful. I love those kind of films, So anyway.